I've been asked to talk about, really to talk about my relationship with Barbie. It's come up a couple of times this week when I saw a very powerful video post on our website from Darla, who was a longtime Barbie collector, and she's discovered our dolls, and it was quite of kind of a powerful sort of video for me, seeing our dolls, seeing a collector react to our dolls. Now I've seen it before, of course. I've seen a lot of people open a lot of our dolls, but it's kind of interesting seeing a Barbie person, or a person who considers herself a major Barbie collector, look at seriously take a look at what we do. It was great. It got me thinking. I'd been asked, and we started talking about it around the office about my relationship with Barbie, because a lot of people around here know, but I don't know if it's general knowledge that I was an avid Barbie collector when I first started collecting dolls, and this was a lot of years ago. I'm not going to say how many, but let's just say I saw Barbie's 16th birthday come and go. Anyway, I was always fascinated by Barbie. When she came out, it was in 1959. I must have been around 7 or 8, and I was mesmerized by the commercial. That first commercial, I remember it vividly. I could probably sing the song, but I will spare you. It was great. This was a doll like no one had ever seen before. The proportions were so different. Always before Barbie, an adult fashion doll was always represented by a child sculpt. They would take a child sculpt. In some instances, they would pad the bust line to make it look like it had a figure. They would add shoes, but always flat shoes. They never had high heels. And until about 1955, when Madame Alexander came out with Sissy, which was, to me, the first really modern fashion doll. She had a sculpted high heel foot and the molded bust. Barbie came out, though. Well, let me go back to Sissy. Sissy was a beautiful doll, but Sissy still had this, the bigger head, and the proportion it was kind of a childlike proportion. When Barbie came out, she was the whole new world. She had a small head and a very shapely figure, which many parents just hated. Now, in retrospect, I think it's a little creepier that that you dress up a toddler doll as a bride, but that's another whole story. I won't go into it. But you know what? I remember those. I remember those Barbies. I remember the glamour of those dolls, and I also, I'll never forget the. I thought this at 6 or 7, however old, 7 or 8, seeing that little zipper go up the back of the dress. I just thought that was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen on those early Barbies. So anyway, when I started collecting, Barbie was the one, and I just kept at it and at it. And at one point, I had a pretty important Barbie collection. Along with everything else, I see dolls as a real art form, and I know they're commercial and all this, but then for a new generation of people, me included, dolls became our way of doing our art. Oh, that's Kitty. Kitty. No interview for you. Down you go. It's the afternoon. She gets very rambunctious in the afternoon. And yeah, back to Barbie and art. So when I started looking at making my first doll, now I went through doll making. I learned it. I learned the whole process. I started with, although I did do early fashion dolls, little girl dolls were commercially easier for us to produce and to make. So I did that first. And when I went to do Tyler Wentworth, I wanted to do something. Certainly, I mean, I wouldn't really say it was inspired, but there was definitely this feel of Barbie, and I wanted to not duplicate Barbie, but I wanted to take some of the elements that so impressed me in those early dolls, and apply them to Tyler. For instance, if you take a look, the first Tyler that came out was signature style Tyler, and she was wearing a white shirt, black skirt, something very simple and clean. If you see the first Barbie, it was a black and white striped bathing suit, and that's 100%. That was intentional, and that was I guess an homage to Barbie. The clothes, I certainly didn't take clothes from Mattel line for line or whatever like that, but what I brought from those early Barbie clothes were the fine details and the fine fabrics and all that, and that's what I applied to Tyler. For instance, we had, silk dresses and a cashmere coat. I remember cashmere noir, I think it was called. We had French lace with beading. We had all this and great details. Within the first year, I was using the zippers up the back and all this. And I've tried to keep that in my mind, those wonderful details, those wonderful things that made the clothes real, and hold on to that as we do clothes for our dolls. And I think that, in conjunction with our manufacturer, who's so great, we've grown and we've developed new ways of making dolls and products. So, or art, as I like to think of it. So then I get to something like Darla, or someone like Darla, who sent such a powerful video. It's really cool for me because, to me, she's probably young. I know she's a lot younger than I am, and she probably wasn't around for those first commercials. Go on YouTube and take a look at the first Barbie commercial. But I think she is responding to what I love about dolls and I love about my art, and I loved about the early Barbies. It's really gratifying to see that sort of evolution in a collector, and I hope there are many more.